One of the things that has been questioned in the black church, particularly the medical community, has approached the black church because, as many of you know, the vaccinations are rolling out, dealing with COVID. But we're running seriously behind, and one of the big reasons is that there are all of these question marks about whether or not the vaccine is safe for our people. And to be honest about it, I don't know the answers to all of this stuff. What I do know is this. I sat under Dick Gregory for so long when he was alive. And one thing Gregory always said, he said, look, just follow what the rich white folk do. And I found that to be very, very accurate. He said just, you don't have to ask a whole lot of questions. Just follow what the rich white folk do. And a lot of my habits are based on that. That's why even when I travel at my office, at my house, I eat off of real silverware. There's a difference. I don't eat out of plastic. I don't eat out of regular stainless steel. I carry my silver fork and spoon with me. I eat off of real silver. There's a reason for that. But he said, just do what the rich white folk do. The rich white folk are getting vaccinated. They're not dying. We're dying at multiple rates of anybody else, and we scared of the vaccine. So I can't just guarantee you 100% that the vaccine is safe and you're not going to have any issues. But what I can tell you is this. I was in New Orleans, flew back in early this morning. I was at lunch with some of the people who helped produce our show, the officials in New Orleans. And as we were sitting there with some of our people from Bronner Brothers and some of the people from the New Orleans convention and their government, one of our people was still suffering the effects of COVID, and they'd had it for a long time. One of the ladies from New Orleans, she said, look, I caught COVID over a year ago. When I got COVID, I started having heart palpitations, and I started having when my heart was just racing. I've been over COVID for a year, and I missed 2 days of work this week because my heart's still racing. So I don't know what the vaccine doing, but I know what COVID is doing. I know people who have been over COVID for weeks or months or even over a year, and they still got problems. Now, maybe the vaccine may do something to a few folk, and to be honest about it, it's going to kill some folk. All medicines do. Aspirin kills people. It's a law of statistics. Any medicine, peanuts kill folk. They do. Strawberries kill folk. I mean, there are some people who have anaphylactic shock from vegetables and fruits and nuts. So, yeah, there's a certain percentage that it will create a serious issue. But from the laws of statistics, especially if you have any concerns about the strength of your immune system, if you catch colds, if you got some of those underlying conditions, if you are overweight, 80% of all the people who die from COVID overweight. If you're overweight, you fit in that category. So look, let me tell you people, if you got any of those underlying conditions, if you got any concerns that your immune system is not rock solid iron and you can stand up and laugh at COVID, you need to be in that vaccination line. Because COVID is messing up some folk. I don't know about the vaccine, but I know about COVID. And I know the rich white folk getting it. So I know the rich white folk getting it and the black folk ain't. So which line do you think I want to be in? That's just as simple as that. It's a whole lot of conspiracy theories going around. 90% of the stuff it has no basic in fact. Talking about, oh, they got a microchip in there that's going to track me. You don't need a microchip to track you, and you got a cell phone with your location turned on. What you need a microchip to track you for? And you don't go anywhere without your cell phone. Some of this stuff is just crazy. They got all this stuff And if anything, the vaccine may change my DNA, you know COVID just changes some DNA. So they got black folk where they are afraid of the vaccine and not scared of the virus. I just left New Orleans, and I mean, them folk was packed in the street dancing. I mean, the airlines this morning, like when I came in through the airport, the security line literally was wrapped up through baggage claim. Folk don't give a, they traveling, they going, and I have never, when I got off of the plane during the Thanksgiving holidays, I had never seen that high of a percentage of black folk traveling in my life. Most of the time when you go through the airport, it's about 85% white. This was about 75% black. I said, these Negroes going everywhere. They are not, and now they got them stimulus checks. The line just wrapped everywhere. So people, I am telling you, don't be fooled by all this crazy conspiracy stuff that has no basis in science. Now, like I said, I can't guarantee you that you're not going to have an issue with the vaccine, but what I can tell you is that now, fortunately, we've had multiple cases here at the Ark of COVID. We've had not one death, and we've had not one hospitalization. So we have been really blessed, but also here we do stuff where we're stronger. See, I don't know whether I've come in contact with COVID or not, but I know it ain't bothered me if I have. And I'm not afraid of it, but I know I got to keep my system in shape where I'm not going to get, I'm going to be in that 50% of people who are asymptomatic that COVID simply does not bother. But you need to be sure. If you're not going to take that vaccine, you need to be real sure your immune system is really, really strong. You're not going to get sick, and you ain't got a whole lot of underlying conditions. And you can strip down, look yourself in the mirror, and say, this body ready for COVID. That's what you need to be able to do. You need to be able to strip down, look in the mirror, and say, this body, if you got stuff rolling everywhere, it ain't ready for COVID. You need to be in the vaccination line. It's just as simple as that. So these are some things that I just want to talk with you about that for just a minute. The vast majority of America needs to take the vaccine. It's just as simple as that. Now, some people, they may not, but they really need to be sure their system is strong enough to where their body can laugh at COVID without an issue. And if you don't have that assurity, you need to be in that vaccination line, just as simple as that. So I wanted to talk with everybody about that because now it's going to be available for everybody. And I'm not saying, I don't know where the virus came from. I don't know what all is behind this. And there may be some insidious stuff behind it. But the point is this, when there's usually an insidious plot, the public rarely has it right. Anytime you see a big crowd going in one direction, you can just about be sure that's the wrong direction. And I was at the Springs and I was listening to all these folk talking about the RNA. I was saying to myself, they don't even know what RNA and DNA mean. And I knew they didn't. And they were talking about all of the genetic changes. You don't know that's deoxynucleic acid. They don't know that. But all of a sudden, all these folk, they're geneticists. So take that vaccine. If you are not 100% sure in the strength of your immune system, take that vaccine. And they say, well, they may be covering up some of the folk that's dying. Probably. Probably so. But I know personally too many people who have had COVID who are still having effects from it, calling it long COVID. We got people in the office like that. They still having effects from long COVID. So I don't know what the vaccine gonna do, but I know what COVID does. So if you're not 100% sure about the strength of your immune system, take that vaccine. That's just the wisdom. Don't listen to all this conspiracy stuff. It's totally not founded, and the science is just way off. And the stuff makes no sense whatsoever. No, Bill Gates is not the Antichrist. So it's just some of all this crazy stuff. But don't get wrapped up into all of that. Don't travel down that wormhole. If you're going to follow somebody, I'm like Dick Gregory. He has a whole lot of sense. do what the rich white folk do. And when you do what they do, more like, don't do what we do what the rich white folk do. Because that's why, and those of you in here who are nursing, you know who's dying in the hospital from COVID. It's mostly us. So don't do what we do. You do what the rich white folk, they in the line getting that vaccine. You need to get that vaccine if you're not 100% sure about the full strength of your immune system. So that's that, and hopefully that's gonna help somebody avoid an illness that you do not have to go through.